It was the 1990s, a big show in a small town off I-75 in Georgia. They were called the biggest cocks in the henhouse. But things have changed since then. It's been 30 years, and they finally found a home here, like everyone else, doing a podcast. It's Erica and Mark, the phone call podcast thing.
Hello?
Hey,
it's Mark. Hi, Mark.
yes.
How you
How
doing
are
there,
you?
buddy? I'm actually in the middle of something right now. I'm kind of in shock about my favorite trashy airline. It's not really trashy. It's secretly my second favorite airline, Southwest.
Uh-oh.
They've done something.
Because I just booked a flight on Southwest.
Okay, well, here's something you should know about Southwest. They don't work like the other airlines. You know how most airlines have hub cities like, like Charlotte or Philadelphia or...
Right.
Southwest doesn't have any hub cities. Southwest is kind of flying by the seat of their pants, doing everything.
They're nomads.
They are nomads. That's exactly right. So when Southwest airplanes get trapped somewhere because of weather or a computer problem, I'm not sure if you know this, but they had a big meltdown a couple Christmases ago. Remember?
Yes.
That was Southwest. And it happened because their computer system was equivalent to like a Commodore 64. They just never upgraded their computers, but they were like, well, it still works, so we're just going to leave it be until it didn't work one day around at Christmas. So now Southwest is doing something. They're not going to get hubs. They're still flying by the seat of their pants, which bites them in the ass sometimes. But they're now getting rid of open seating, which is my favorite thing about Southwest.
What's open seating now? What does that mean?
So it's like a bus. They're the Greyhound of the sky. You buy a ticket to Southwest, and you're allowed to check 2 bags for free.
Right.
And there's no seat assignments. They board you in zones. So you have zone A 1 through 30 and 31 through 60. So you got 60 people lined up first, probably who paid $20 to be in the A zone to go on the plane first. So you can sit wherever you want. You can get a window, you can get in the front, you can get in the back, you can get the extra leg room in the exit row, whatever. That's usually what I do. I usually get in the A group, pay the extra $20, and I like to sit at the front of the plane by a window so I can sleep. I don't understand people who are scared of flying. That is just an opportunity for a nap for me.
Yeah.
That's how afraid I am to fly. But now they're getting rid of open seating, and you're going to have to actually pick your seats, and they're going to have different tier prices for seats now. So it's not just going to be $20 and get you upgraded to the front of the line. And I'm very upset because I fly Southwest all the time. I love Southwest. Now I'm going to have to go to Allegiant.
See, I've been flying Southwest for a while now. I just got so tired of Spirit and the fact that you never know.
You never save money with them, by the way.
Well, no, and not only that, but you also have to learn that you got to be pretty skilled at MMA.
Yeah.
Because there's people there will fight you.
Yes.
That not just the customers either, staff.
Yeah. I flew Spirit one time, and I would liken it to an experience that you might have at a McDonald's in a bad neighborhood on like a Tuesday night. It's almost like a prison kitchen.
Yeah,
mentality there.
Yes.
Is that about right?
Or maybe even a Waffle House after the bars close in Florida.
Yes, that's even better than my analogy. Correct. But Southwest now, you're going to have to pay for seats, but I guess you'll be able to get bigger seats. I'm very upset. This has been 53 years they've been in the business, which I'm only slightly older than that. But now I got to start paying for extra legroom seats, and I can't just get in there and fight somebody and say, hey, is anybody sitting by that window? No, come on in. Or, you pick the skinny person, or you don't want to, okay, there's a bunch of kids right there. I'm not going to sit there. I'm going to sit away from the kids.
Well, I know one thing. I had this past time. Matter of fact, this morning I woke up in a panic because I'm flying to Miami in February for a cruise.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try something that I've never done before. Fly in the day of the cruise.
Oh, that's very ambitious of you.
And flying out when it docks. So I'm literally going to take the shuttle from the airport over, and that's about it, and then back out. So I get up, and we've made some changes to your plans. Now, the cruise sails at 6. You have to be on the boat by 4:30, and they were trying to get me off the plane at 1:30. That just makes me very nervous.
That's ambitious, but that could be done.
Yes.
early enough in the day.
So I said, well, that makes me a little nervous. So let me go ahead and they said, if you want to, you can change. And then they also had me on a 11-hour total duration flight where they wanted me to
from New Orleans to Miami.
Miami to New Orleans.
What are they
on the way back?
They taking you through like Kansas City? What are they doing?
Well, they were taking me to Austin where I had to sit for like 6.5, 7 hours. And I'm like, oh, no. So I can't do that. Plus, they wanted me to be there by noon. They debark at 7. There's no guarantee you're going to be out that plane by 8 or 9 to catch the shuttle. It'll be 2 hours early for them.
No, especially later in the day too.
So we were able to get on, and we were allowed up to 2 times of changing without costing us an additional amount of money, which I thought was nice. Mm-hmm. So we are going to actually now get there before noon, and we're going to only have to be 50 minutes in Nashville, and on the way home, we're going to be just 50 minutes in St. Louis to come back to.
I am to the point now where I would just rather drive.
I was thinking about driving, but what it is like I didn't. You know how expensive the hotels are during season, February.
Yeah.
So
don't you have any friends in South Florida anymore?
Not anymore. Huh. No, my family's all moved now. They all live in Central Florida. Go stay at your daughter's house
over in Naples.
It's just a far drive over.
It's like
plus, she's got all those animals. I can't do those animals.
You're such an old Jewish man. She's got all these animals. I don't want the animals.
Well, you know her, though. You know what she's got. She's got exotic cats. You know, they look like leopards.
She has a tiger, doesn't she? You're just not telling me.
Well, sort of. She's got a bunch of them.
She have a license for that?
She has a zoo, yeah. She had to actually go. Her and her wife had to go to Tampa to the zoo to train for over a year to get this license.
It's not crazy at all.
And they eat raw meat in the house. They eat raw meat.
I need to go down there and visit your daughter, Stephanie. She sounds awesome.
You should go see her.
I haven't seen her since she was little.
Yeah. You haven't seen her. I don't think she was 5 when you seen her.
Yeah, she was very little.
She still looks the same.
She was hiding behind your leg every time I saw her. She's hiding.
She looks like a teenager. She really does. At 30-something years old, she still looks like a teenager.
And that's why she got lions. For some people have guns. Some people get lions. She's got lions.
She would. She would. She'll talk you into buying one though, and then you'll be in trouble.
Oh no lions for me. I'm like you. I've got the hay fever. I've got the allergies. I can't do it.
I'm just afraid that he'll eat me. You know, as I get older, I'm already afraid of Kathleen's cat.
No, the cats already know that you're old. You're tough. You know, you're not gonna go down well with that old skin of yours. They're looking for babies. They're looking for something they can sit on the chest of and suck the life out of and then eat. You're as far away from that as
I never thought about that. I'm actually on the cheap menu now.
Yeah, God knows what all that alcohol and drugs did to your skin too. Probably made it all bitter.
It's already smelled me and licked me a couple of times. It knows.
It's like,
it's not gonna. It's already down. It's only going to go downhill from here.
What is that? Vodka?
Jaeger doesn't sit well after years of fermenting in your skin.
Jaeger just stains you for life.
That's a wonder I'm not a brown tint.
You know, you did marry Mexican.
Oh my gosh.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
What else is going on, Mark?
Well, I was thinking, yesterday we had a little conversation on the text, and I'm watching all my friends have these meltdowns, and serious meltdowns.
So what Mark is talking about is I like to torture Mark with ChatGPT because he's afraid of it.
Yes.
So that's what I did to him yesterday with ChatGPT.
And I'm sorry, but I'm just one of those people. I'm like, I don't know if you can even say this anymore. Is Switzerland still considered neutral?
Yes.
Like no one hates Switzerland, but they don't really love them.
No, that's not true. The Jews don't like them. A lot of Nazi gold there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
See,
all right. So then
other than that, though, it's neutral.
How about Greenland?
Greenland, I don't think anyone lives there. I think there's there's some Indians.
Just Bjork. Bjork is there.
Yeah, there's some natives. No, I think Bjork is from Iceland.
Oh,
which is actually greener than Greenland, Greenland is actually ice, and Iceland actually has a lot of green.
Great naming.
They're just trying to keep people out because it's really nice there. So how this started yesterday was I sent
Yeah.
So I sent Mark a screenshot of I was playing around with ChatGPT and I put the picture of Trump getting shot up where he's getting ushered off stage with his fist in the air, and I told it, hey buddy,
Iconic photo.
Hey buddy, here's my picture. Roast me and don't hold back. And ChatGPT roasted the picture.
Yes.
Yeah, and it says, I see you've captured the moment of utter chaos reminiscent of a B-list action movie where the protagonist is dramatically rescued by secret agents who look like they moonlight as bouncers at a nightclub. The windswept hair and blood on your lip really adds to the heroic struggle in quotes vibe. Almost as if you tripped over a teleprompter while trying to escape your own speech. And let's not forget the sheer determination in your expression. It's as if you're about to give a rousing speech on how to avoid walking into invisible obstacles. The bodyguard's concerned faces tell me they are already drafting the incident report for this one. If this was a movie poster, I'd definitely pay to watch the bloopers. That's ChatGPT saying that, not me. It's roasting.
And how did I answer that?
Well, I forget what you
Propaganda.
said. Yeah, you did say propaganda. and then I decided to see if I could poke the bear, and it didn't really work with you at all, did?
No, because you know what? It's I don't have.
I think you called Cove, the ChatGPT guy, a super lib.
Yeah, I said super lib.
That's
and then
what you said.
Then you sent me the definition of a liberal.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So and I tried to get an unbiased one from ChatGPT. And
it was actually a good one.
Right. And I said, so here's what I said. Hey, buddy, can you give me a quick definition of the word conservative without a political bias? And then Cove comes on and he says, sure. The word conservative generally means being cautious about change and preferring to stick with traditional values or methods. It can refer to someone who is careful with resources like money or materials and avoids unnecessary risks. Can we agree that that's a great definition?
Yep. That fits. That matches me perfectly.
That's a great. So conversely, I had to give another chance, and I said, "All right, my friend, can you do the same definition for the word liberal?" And he says, "Of course," with an exclamation point. The word liberal typically means being open to new ideas and willing to accept change. It can describe someone who is open-minded, favors progress and reform, and is generous in their approach or attitude. Can we agree that that's pretty good?
Yes,
that's pretty accurate.
And I think what happens is, I think that
then you called me a lib, is what you did after that.
Super? Did I?
No, you didn't.
I have to look at that. No. Actually, then we started talking about real things, and we said, I said that. Listen, I don't vote party. I vote people. And it's
me
who
too.
I feel at the time is going to benefit me. Hate to say that.
Yeah.
Don't really care about benefiting anybody else.
I don't know.
I'm
probably going to vote against weed because I don't want to smell that shit everywhere in Florida.
Well, the weed doesn't smell like it used to. It smells like crap.
That's purely selfish on my part. I don't care if anybody smokes weed. Just I don't want people walking around smoking it everywhere. Oh my God.
No, and
awful.
And there's a lot of things I don't agree with, and then there's things I agree with, and then there's things I don't really have a dog in the fight. Like I don't care. I really don't care.
What about a cat? What about a big cat?
I don't even have a big cat in the fight. But it's like, we were talking earlier before we hit the record button. It's like if I had sent that to any of my extreme, the people get their feelings hurt that identify as a party that ruins the party. That's on both sides.
I'm going to say what they are. Those are conservative snowflakes. Those are who you're talking about, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what happens is they'll blow a stack.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they would blow a stack, and it's like, and it's getting worse, especially on Facebook now that we're getting closer to November. And then once you added the assassination attempt, that kind of put things squirrely. And then Biden stepped down. And now, and then Harris is there. It's like, oh, good Lord! Now
nobody knows what to do. It's like a reset.
Well, they're trying. Yeah, the reset is a good reset in a way. But you know what? Where are they leaning on?
I don't know.
One person's white, one person's black. That's where they want to.
Well, no, she's Asian.
She's technically Asian and what? Asian and Jamaican. Right?
Nobody will come out and say it, but she's Blasian, and that's what a lot of people like. I'm not saying it's me,
She's not black though, is she? She's isn't she? What do you call it? Isn't she Jamaican?
Oh,
I think.
I don't know. What do I need to Google Kamala Harris? 23
I don't know if you want
and
that.
me?
I don't think you want that on your
Search history. No.
Yeah, there's a few things like I
I'm
always
gonna
want
do
to
it
know
anyway.
things, and I'm afraid to put it on my search history because I don't want to get flagged as a crazy person.
Kamala
I'm
Harris,
just kinda curious.
23 and me. Let's see what she does here. Let's see. Nothing comes up. Huh. Even Google is politically correct.
I like to see her go to the
Reddit will know. Hold on.
if you go to
Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. She's part Indian and Jamaican. She would likely show up as 50% South Asian and a mixture of sub-Saharan African and Northwestern European.
Wow.
So, and then another commenter says 50% South Asian, 10% European, 40% West African. Also, who cares?
Right.
She's an American. Where was she born?
See, this is what I like to. This is what I like to go back to. It's just American. I know it's okay to be proud of your heritage. I guess it's easy for me to say because I'm Welsh and English, and it's nothing really to get that excited about. We have boring food. We have bad teeth.
Yeah.
And the best thing we put out was the Spice Girls. Well, the Beatles. But I mean, we did have a pretty cool British invasion. We were pretty cool with that.
Look at it. You and I should not be friends because I am on both sides of my family. So I come out as literally half German and half Northern UK Irish. So technically,
Northern Ireland,
this is why every time I drink, I want to invade Poland. And I know that I can't, but that's in my DNA. Do you have water in your mouth? Are you trying not to spit the water out?
Oh, yeah, I almost drowned.
You all right?
You were waterboarding me with that joke.
Let me say it again.
That is so funny.
Half Irish and half German. Every time I drink, I want to invade Poland. Not the first time I've used that joke.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
All right, we're back. Mark, what am I?
You're Northern Irish, German.
That's right.
Half and half.
You want to go invade Poland with me later? Or are you still on? You're still on the wagon, aren't you? All the AA stuff.
Yes.
You're not coming to Poland with anybody.
No. But you know what? And today I'm learning a lot about today's thought and word police and everything. And we thought it was bad when Tipper Gore came out with the PMRC and helped sell records.
Oh,
right?
I didn't think it was bad. I knew that was. I'm like, these people are going to sell so many more records with warning labels on them now. Tipper is a genius.
But I was watching. You don't know who this is. I know you aren't. And here's where you can step in and start making fun of my age because I wasn't old enough to know this show when it first came on. But it's old time black and white TV that I watch an episode every day.
Leave it to Beaver.
Laugh. No, Ozzy and Harriet.
Yeah, I never seen that show.
Ozzy and Harriet Nelson. Do you know who Rick Nelson was?
Ozzy Osbourne's grandfather.
No, Rick Nelson was the.
I don't know.
Wrote the song "Garden Party."
No,
I went to a garden party.
No.
It was a big song in the 70s.
Nope.
Okay. Anyway, Ozzy and Harriet, where it was a black and white.
Wait,
sitcom.
she was black and he was white.
No, the TV was black and white, but it came from radio. It was a radio thing, a radio show that moved into television when television came on, and it played out. And I think they went for like 15 years on TV.
And they were the ideal American family with
kinda, yeah. You know, but they, you might like it because I don't know. You like
I like
dumb
Ozzy.
humor.
I like Ozzy.
Do you like dumb humor?
I am dumb humor.
Okay, and it's sarcasm. A lot of sarcasm.
I am
in it.
Sarcasm.
A lot of pot shots at the siblings and stuff like that.
I don't much care for pot.
And I'm watching it, and in the beginning, they always have a rating.
Okay.
And now the rating they're warning you about on a black and white TV show that nobody under the age of 50 or probably 60s even
Well, yeah,
watching this show.
TV shows all have ratings. They have like educational, rated G, they have a similar rating that the movies have.
So I'm watching this, and it usually says smoking,
right,
and drinking,
yep,
and alcohol, because they're always, this is the late 1950s.
Hey, Irv, you want to
60s.
come in for a nightcap?
They're coming in for a cocktail
Yeah.
and they're smoking a cigar.
Right.
Okay. So I see one, and I don't know what made me look this time. It said violence. Violence in a black and white sitcom.
What
is
happened?
considered violent, and why are they warning you ahead of time that this could be a problem for some people?
Here's a joke for old people. Was Eddie Haskell a special guest star? Because that guy on Leave It to Beaver was kind of a dick.
Yes. No, but he was not a guest star on Ozzy and Harriet.
So what
Guess
happened?
He did.
What?
Here's what happened. The kids in the neighborhood were playing with cap guns.
Uh-huh.
And bang, with the cap popping.
Everybody
right?
had cap guns, yeah.
And everyone, and they're shooting at each other. And then Ozzy pretends like he gets shot and falls down, and it's crazy. This is the violence.
Oh, that is violent. Yeah, you're right.
Is that violent?
Yeah, that's violence now.
That's how we played.
I know.
Did you grew? I know I grew up at a different time. You were at least a decade.
I grew up in the
separate.
I grew up in the late 70s and into the 80s. Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up in the.
But we had cap
the
guns.
early 70s.
But
did
now-
you have it in the 80s? Right.
Hold on. In all fairness to me, I may have shot my friend Tommy once with a BB gun, but it was an accident, mostly.
Oh, most of the time we did that. Yeah, I had a hunting slingshot, popped a few things I shouldn't have broke.
But nobody ever thought that taking a gun with actual bullets and shooting at somebody was a good idea.
No, because
nobody
I
would
also
ever
saw
think of
cartoons that would drop anvils on top of people.
Oh yeah, that sounds dangerous.
So I mean, but it's like, yeah, it was violence, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is the people that are deciding whether or not whatever we say and do is okay, and it's like it makes me, I don't know, maybe I don't like change.
Is this
either,
a get off my lawn moment from Mark? You should have a new segment called "Get Off My Lawn," and this is what you talk about.
I grew up where you were allowed to shoot people with cap guns.
Yes.
And they looked like real guns, and they were heavy.
Yeah.
They were heavier than your gun you have now.
Yeah, they were silver. They were made out of metal.
Metal.
They didn't have like a little orange thing on the tip of the gun.
No.
It looked like a freaking gun.
No, because you know why? We never thought it was okay to pull it and point at a police officer
Right.
while we were robbing something.
No, we were scared shitless of police officers.
Oh, yeah.
Because they could put us in jail.
You know what? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, and not only that, but it was any authority figure was you just respected. That was it, even including older people than you.
Right, because they could end you.
Now, you had a little bit of respect for the teenagers when you were younger because they would beat you up.
That happened to me a lot.
But the parents, anybody, your friends' parents even, it was Mr. and Mrs., and you dare not act. If you invite me to your house and I come over and I act out, your mom or dad would have been your mom would have been on the phone calling that one's mom. By the time I got home,
I still talk to my mom's best friend that was our neighbor that we all grew up with. She lives in New Jersey now with her family, and she's well into her 80s, and she's very sharp and all there. But she's in her 80s now, and her name is Linda. Do you think I would ever call her Linda? No. I'm in my 50s. I would never call her by her first name. She is Mrs. G, because that's what she always was. She's Mrs. G. The end. I don't care.
Yeah,
I could never call her Linda.
I even have people now. Okay, I'm 65 this year. All right.
Yeah.
And I have people that are like 68, 69 people I know that are just a few years older than me.
Scare me.
And
How
if
long
I
is this
don't-
podcast going to last?
And if I don't, well, it's almost over. But
For you.
you'll have to get Cove to replace me. And just tell Cove, pretend like you're a 65-year-old so you can respond to me. See if Cove can. Let's go to prepare for that.
Let's see.
Let's prepare for my death. Say, Cove,
Hey, buddy, are you available to become my new co-host for my podcast when my partner Mark dies of old age? Not that I would wish that on you, Mark, but let's see what he says.
Hey, that's quite a statement. I'd be happy to help with your podcast anytime. What's your podcast about?
It's about two people who used to do a radio show together, and now they turned it into a phone call and decided to call it a podcast. It's really stupid.
That sounds like it could be a lot of fun, actually. Sometimes the simplest ideas make for the best entertainment. What kind of topics do you guys usually cover?
All right, Cove, we'll talk about this later when Mark isn't around, okay?
Sure thing. We can discuss it anytime. How's everything going with the podcast?
Okay.
Interesting episodes.
All right.
Oh, he's really interested in the job now.
Yeah. He's
man,
asking me how things are going with the podcast. Any interesting
once
episodes?
Cove gets a hold of my numbers and yours, he's going to tell my phone to kill me.
You know, Harry, here's
we
going to
go.
be my next podcast. Because, as some people may or may not be able to tell, I am Erica and I am transgender. I am, I know I don't sound like it because this is how I talk. I don't know what else to do about it. This is just how I talk. So I think what I'm going to do after you die, I'm going to replace you with Cove, and I'm going to use an AI program that turns my voice into a young, sexy, hot female. What do you think?
So then you're going to have the two things talk to each other?
It's still going to be me. It's going to be my voice.
Oh,
but it
it's
will
just
be
gonna be-
manipulated into a different, like, young girl voice. And then Cove will be Cove to replace you after you die of what I assume.
Well,
will be
you
old
remember
age.
when we first got in the radio before we got married and,
Mark and I
say
were
that about
never
myself.
married.
but but I'm saying is that if you know, the reason why, one of the things that was about being in radio was to be able to score women.
That
So-
was never my thing.
But are you trying to score men now with you?
I'm not trying to
having
score anybody, man. I am good by myself. Every time people say to me, "Oh, you're so awesome. You should be with somebody," I'm like, yeah, that would be great. But that would also interfere with my policy of doing whatever I want to all the time. I have a Porsche in my garage. You know why? Because I didn't have anybody tell me, I don't think you should buy a Porsche. That's why.
True. That's
Otherwise,
true.
I would never have that. I don't want to mess that up.
Well, I want to see, because like I notice a lot of trans people. What do you say, trans men or trans women?
For me, it would be trans women.
Okay, so a lot of trans women have the deeper voice, but some of them don't. Now, what do they do to get that? They just acting?
Maybe, or lucky
Like that-
genetics.
I don't think they'll see. I bet you we're not even allowed to say his name, is it? That's probably going to flag us.
I don't know.
The guy that did the beer commercial.
You can edit that right out. You can just
Okay.
bleep it. The person who did the Bud Light commercials,
Yes.
that was just a promotion where Bud Light said, "Hey, here's some free beer. Talk about us. Thanks a lot." That wasn't any kind of conspiracy.
But I mean,
That
what I'm
was
saying
just-
is, do you consider that person trans, even though they're not committing
Yeah.
to anything?
Are they?
I don't.
Are they living their life as a woman?
I don't know.
I don't know much about Dylan Mulvaney either, but I believe she is. So
Yeah.
yes.
So not going through with it is still okay. It's not like a.
It ain't none of my business what's between your
Yeah.
legs, just like it is anybody else's, Although I'll tell you, yes, I had surgery. Yes, it was very expensive. Yes, it hurt very bad. And yes, it made me a much more high maintenance person than I would have been had I not had to deal with this.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like sometimes commitment to me, like when you really think you're supposed to do something or whatever, and the commitment level, if it's up there where like you just wouldn't. This is my personal feeling. Like nobody would just do this for a gag.
Oh, God,
or
no. This was-
or almost. You know what I mean?
This was
then
a
you also do that
life or death thing for most
and
people.
you did it as an adult.
Yes.
So it wasn't like you were talked into it from a guidance counselor.
No, I was well into
or-
my 30s.
Yes,
Before I
and
finally confronted it.
and you talked
Yeah.
to a professional.
I was very depressed. I talked to several professionals. I never wanted to do this until I kind of realized I didn't have much of a choice, or I could be miserable the rest of my life, which I really didn't want to be.
Because I think that's what throws people off with trans. I think they just see people like just kind of saying, yeah, I'm this and that. Because everything is blurred now.
Hey, man, I see people who are trying it on. And honestly, that's kind of what all the therapy is for, because it's quite the commitment. And if it's not right for you, it will break you.
Now, seriously, now, would you say, because to me, I think that you should not start doing things before you go through talking.
I understand that the policies have gotten a lot more lenient since I
So you didn't have a
started my
choice
transition.
then, right?
No, I
You didn't have a. Okay, so
I
you,
mean, I could have killed myself. That was also a choice.
I know, no. What I'm saying is no. What I'm saying is like you didn't have a. You couldn't just jump into it. You had to go through, or did you purposely choose?
I mean, I guess
talk?
I guess I probably could have done it if I had just gone to Thailand or something and done some risky things. Yeah, I probably could have, but I needed to be sure, and I really wanted to go through the steps and go through what other people have gone through, because everybody thinks in life that their problems are unique. Oh my God, nobody could possibly understand what I'm going through. And I had a therapist tell me a long time ago, yeah, I know you think you're special, but I'm here to tell you that you're not. What you're going through right now is very common. Somebody else has already gone through it and probably written a book about it. And I can tell you all the stages that you're in and how it's going to end. And I was like, and it's true.
Yeah, because see, that's what I'm saying. It's because, like, for example, for my end, I'm in recovery, and
Same thing. So
and I teach
there
and stuff,
are
so-
stages.
and there's multiple rooms. But the funny thing about it is, if you were an alcoholic, most likely there's a good chance you dabbled in drugs. There's a really good chance that you dabbled in sexual addiction because. Especially if you grew up in the 60s and 70s.
Goes along with the
everything
personality,
goes,
yeah.
Yep. And then also you're going to have life issues because you couldn't deal with life on life's terms, so you decided to get high instead.
Kinda.
And then finally, the codependency of always wanting somebody's approval and always trying to do,
Yeah.
So no matter where you go,
I don't have any of that.
yeah. When I'm sitting in the room over there, and the guy says, I see a guy usually in my class because I teach. Chemical, well, not really teach. I facilitate a room for chemical dependency. And, oh, I'm sorry I didn't make it in there, Mark. I wanted to try codependency. I said, there ain't a room in this building that you don't fit in sometime in your life.
Right.
And once you go off of the whatever your drug of choice is, then you can start working on all those issues with a sober mind and a clear head, and you can start becoming a better person.
It goes
But you
with
got to do that.
It goes with something Tony Bennett said in the Amy Winehouse documentary that I think I've talked about this before. It's the most profound thing I think I've ever heard, where he says, "Oh boy, geez," Tony says, "Hey, I really wish I could have, that she would have lived long enough for me to tell her that life teaches you how to live it if you stick around long enough."
Yeah.
And it's true. If you want to figure it out, you can. If you want to get stuck in your little loop, I have friends who are alcoholics that are the same age as me that just go round and round and round, and why me, poor me, poor me, poor me. When they hit bottom, you think, okay, this is it. They're gonna realize it. They're gonna pick themselves up. Nope, they go right back into the loop. And there are people that do. Most people do figure it out. Some people just keep putting themselves through the ringer until they're dead. My best friend, Mike, that I grew up with, he's one of those ones who are dead now. Mike and I were the same age, and we listened to the same music. I can't tell you how many nights we spent at each other's house. We were best friends from like 7th grade until after I moved to Florida. And then we would write letters to each other, and he'd come to Florida to visit me and my family. And I'd hang out with him and his family when I would go back to Pennsylvania. But Mike and I kind of drifted apart because Mike always drank, and he drank when we were kids. And, Mike's the reason that, I tried cigarettes and, wine and wine coolers and whatever else back in the 80s. And that stuff just wasn't for me. But Mike, I found out, died about 3 years ago. And I just found this out this year. He died right about the same time as my brother did back in 2021. And the last time I talked to him, Mike and I could go for 2 years without talking to each other. And then he would call me all drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning because he worked the night shift. And, and talk to me until he passed out. And it would be like like we never stopped talking. He was that kind of friend. And I found out that he died right about the same time that my mother died. And I don't know what I was more upset about, my mother dying or my friend Mike, finding out my friend Mike died 3 years ago. Very strange. But Mike is one of those people that kept putting himself through the ringer. He didn't want to get better. I would tell him all the time, he'd say, "Oh, look at you driving your Tesla. Aren't you? Blah, blah, blah. You think you're the shit, don't you?" I'm like, "No, dude, it's just a car." It's my friends all make fun of me, if you must know. Oh, well, you might. I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, why can't you just clean yourself up? You're the most talented artist I've ever met. You're freaking brilliant, and you're stuck in the stupid bottle, and it's going to kill you. He's like, oh, I don't even care. And you can't help people like that.
No. And I'm going to tell you, yeah, I
tried a million times.
To be helped.
Right. I tried a million times. And then one day he just died.
Because I got the same thing too. It's like I went in, in 2000 and, well, let me see, what is it? 2000, this is the 50, okay. Yeah, in 2010. Yeah. In 2010, 2009, 2010, when all the crap was hitting the fan, that's when I was coming to take I used to ride my bike up to your place and hang out with you for a weekend just to get peace.
You were running from all the chaos in your life.
Yeah, all the chaos from the house and all that stuff.
I used to quiet at my house.
Stuff, but all that time, I chose to live that way. I chose not to do anything about it. I chose not to seek help.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I laugh about it now because most people don't know what I'm talking about, but you'll get the reference because my wife thought it was actually kind of funny too the other day because I said it to her. I said, I was such in depression and denial that even Morrissey was shaking his head at me. Like,
that is
like, I can't even write a song about you, dude. You're a mess.
You're a mess.
You're beyond me.
Get away from me. You're bringing Morrissey down, man.
Yeah. But I went and got help, and I went and found a way, and I found something that worked for me, and it was a good thing, and it really helped me build myself back. And then the next thing I get from people, I guess you think you're better than us now that you go to church and all this. I said, no, not really.
No,
not really.
I hadn't given it a thought. That's for me. That's not for you.
Yeah, you do what you got to do to get where, and we'll see what happens at the end. We'll see. Was I wasting my time? I don't know. All I know is one thing I'm not doing is polluting myself or getting into all kinds of nonsense that doesn't really do me any good. I refuse to put myself in any spot where it's not going to do me any good. Even this podcast, even though we goof around and stuff like that, I know it's going to hear a lot of people. Will probably eventually start emailing me and say, I thought you call yourself a Christian, yet you said this or you did that or you let Erica say this. And it's like, I don't care.
Mark, no one listens to this podcast, especially this far in. You're going to be fine.
But the good part about this is like when I go to a meeting, when I talk at a meeting and talk about how my week went and things like that and share, I'm actually processing the things again, and then I'm picking up the lessons. If I didn't pick it up before, I'm picking up the lessons I should have learned by what happened.
Right.
And knowing that, well, that's not the way to handle things. Or that was pretty good, Mark. Keep working on that way.
Because you decided to work on yourself, just like I decided to work on myself too. But people like my friend Mike, they never were able to get out of that spiral of depression and substance abuse. And Mike died at 55. And
that's so sad.
I know. It is.
That's sad. I know a lot of people that also the same. I'll tell you, one of the saddest things I saw was I saw this guy. We were when I was working on the strip in Fort Lauderdale, and his guy would come in, and he had a rental. Was it an apartment or a house off of Las Olas? So you can only imagine, okay, how much money that costs. Right?
It's expensive. It's a nice part of town.
Yes, he lived on one of the aisles of Las Olas, and he'd come in and he would be throwing money around by getting champagne, having all the girls, and he'd have these after parties at his place. And there would be, I'm showing this. You can't see this obviously on the podcast.
Mark is showing what a large penis looks like. That's what he's. What are you showing? He's got his hands all around like in a circle.
Circle. Yes, big ball, hard rock of cocaine.
Oh goodness! So not like a
where
big
you had to actually scrape on it to get the dust.
Oof.
Every night he would have these big balls of cocaine. It would sometimes you would end up at the not the button. What was the name of that place? At the Elbow Room at 7:00 the next morning, just to drink off the high, so I could drive home. Right?
Jesus, man!
And then all of a sudden, he's not around that much anymore. And as I'm cruising one day along the strip, I don't know where we were heading to. He was on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Hooking.
So you see him on the side. This is the plot of the movie Less
Male
Than Zero.
Hooking.
This is Less Than Zero. This is Robert Downey Jr. sucking that guy's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never seen that movie.
You got to watch Less Than Zero. That's what it's about.
Oh. Well, that he was living that life. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, oh, man. And what happened was
he was smoking crack, wasn't he?
Yeah, he went. Well, they didn't call it that back then. They
Yeah.
called it freebasing.
Freebasing, right.
And I knew right away, well, there's two things I'm not going to do. First of all, I was never going to put anything in a needle and put it in my arm. And the next thing was, I'm not smoking nothing.
Because you don't want to be S and the D on the side of the RD.
No. I don't want to get to, there's a line in my addiction.
And that's where
that is it.
It's drawn right there. When I'm at that point, I don't know how I got to that point.
Yes.
That's probably what he was thinking too. He was like, "Oh, I can't believe I'm doing it." That's how good crack is, though. They say it's that good.
Yeah, man, oh man, yeah, that was crazy. And I thought, wow. Oh my gosh, and that was kind of setting up the path where a couple of my friends at that point that I was like waiters, they were waiters or bar backs and stuff in the bars and stuff like that, and bartenders and stuff where I worked. They were like, hey, man, you going to go hang? No, not tonight, man. All of a sudden, the party zone was coming down. And that's right before I said, in 1988, when I said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore.
This movie was 1987. Less Than Zero was Andrew McCarthy, Jamie Gertz, James Spader.
That's about the exact same time.
Robert Downey
Jr.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you said, it does it. It's not. You're not the only one with the problem.
Anthony Kiedis was actually in this movie.
Really?
He played a musician of all things. Yeah.
Oh.
So here, listen to this. Here's what the storyline on IMDb says. Clay is an 18-year-old freshman, comes back from his first term at Princeton to spend Christmas with his broken up wealthy family in Los Angeles. His former girlfriend is now involved with his ex-best friend, and she warns him that Julian needs help. And Julian is Robert Downey Jr. He's using a lot of cocaine, has a lot of debts. What follows is a look at the youth culture of wealthy post-adolescents in Beverly Hills with a strong anti-drug message. Apart from the setting and the names, the film has very little to do with the book on which it is based. But yeah, it's good, and that's exactly what happened. Robert Downey Jr. is just this preppy rich kid who likes the cocaine, and then he drifts into crack. Next thing you know, he's sucking James Spader off for some money.
Oh God!
Yeah. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it,
what happened?
They don't show it.
I would say I've seen almost every Brat Pack movie or Rat Pack movie, and I never saw that one pass me.
Well, this movie.
Well, it's probably because I was living it. Yeah, almost.
Yeah, you were.
Or came close to it anyway.
Hey, is that Robert Downey Jr. by that guardrail over there? What is that? What's he doing? Is that a glory hole?
Oh, gross.
Oh, you know what those are, don't you?
No. All right, last segment.
Yeah.
Got to draw the line somewhere.
Let's wrap it up here with I need you to write some stuff down that you need to do. I need you to watch Less Than Zero.
No.
Which is it's if you have Stars, it's on there. You can rent it on Amazon.
No.
It really is a great movie. It's a great really captures the feel of the 80s drug scene kind of a movie.
I could probably watch it.
Dude,
I'm not worried about relapse.
No, it's an anti-drug movie.
Relapsing or anything like that, but I would probably see things and probably remember why I like to stay sober.
This movie really does not glorify drugs in hardly any way. It's not what it's about. So you don't have to worry about it making, drugs look cool because
the name of it, Less Than Zero, sounds like it.
Yeah. It's just, but it's
got some good actors in here, though. I like Spader.
Yeah.
And I like Girth. I like Girth.
Jamie.
Right?
Jamie Gertz.
Jamie Gertz. Yeah. Yeah, I like her.
Gertz. Gertz.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her?
Well, she's still acting. I've seen her pop up on some show not that long ago.
Yeah, she was in Twister and she was in The Lost Boys. And other than that, what has she done? 16 Candles, I think she was in.
Yeah, she always played the same one, the little preppy girl.
She did an episode or two of Entourage, I think. I can't remember where else I've seen her, though.
She probably was one of those people that was smart with her money.
Let's Google her net worth. Jamie Gertz net worth. Let's see how smart she was. You got a guess? Oh, that's who she is. Now I remember who she is. How much money do you think she has?
Let's say.
Let me just tell you this. It ends with $1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say $1 billion.
3.
Okay, what does she get? Where's she getting her money from?
And some people say
she really was smart with her money.
Some people say $8 billion. There's some conflicting. She married very well, and her husband owns sports teams and businesses.
Oh, okay.
And she is the world's richest actress. That's why we haven't seen her.
She don't have to.
Fucking billionaire. She doesn't have to be on TV.
She was a good-looking girl.
She still is. She looks great.
Yeah, it's very pretty as an adult woman.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's depressing. The girl who was in Less Than Zero is a billionaire. I have nothing else for this week, Mark.
Oh. Well, you know what? I think to myself that if I just put the pipe down, well, I actually never picked up the pipe, but if I put the straw down.
You would tell me if you did that, wouldn't you? Smoke
crack or whatever?
Smoked the crack, smoked a little something else, smoked a pole.
No, I smoked weed I smoked weed in 10th grade. And I sold weed in 9th grade, but I didn't smoke it till 10th grade, and I was done before 11th grade.
Did you ever sell oregano to a 9th grader?
No.
Yeah,
but I did. I did cut the crap out of it with stuff, though. Yeah, I was really bad with.
Mark.
I was really, really bad with that. I was really bad about getting more of it for myself.
Let me tell you something about me, Mark. I'm very naive in that world.
So, but it was not a good time. I don't know what I wanted to fit in, and I was trying to try to reinvent myself in 9th grade, and it seemed like the pot kids were and the derelicts and all that were more friendly than the jocks and the smart kids and everybody else.
First thing I do when I get a time machine, I'm going to go back to 1987, and I'm going to go find you, and I'm going to take you to the movie theater, and we're going to watch Less Than Zero, and that's going to stop you from ever wanting to do drugs.
A year earlier.
Yeah, Mark, this is what's going to happen to you.
I quit in '88, so I would have get an extra year of sobriety.
What's going to happen to you, Mark, right here if you keep going like this.
What really makes me mad is I made a lot of money for the 80s.
How many houses went up your nose?
Put it this way. I worked from 9 till 2. So that's 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 5 hours, right?
Right.
And I made in Penrod's, I made $150 a night.
Okay. That's good money for the 80s.
So that's I know what it comes out to 5, 10, 15.
How many nights a week?
So what's that?
How many nights a week are you working?
5 days, 5 nights a week.
Okay, that's $700, $750.
Yeah, that's cash. That's take home. That was after taxes and everything else.
So you're making like $3-4 grand a month.
Well, I didn't pay taxes. I paid taxes later on,
right?
For sure, but
$3-4 grand a month, depending on if you had a good night or a bad night. All
and I lived at home with my mom.
Oh, and how many years did you do this?
And I had at that time
2 years.
I had no. I did it from 19. I can't remember when.
There are people that believe that the 1900s didn't exist. I don't want to talk about the 1900s.
1980. I think I started in 1980. Oh, I was actually doing it before then, but I didn't start working full time today in 1980, and I worked till 1988. So
okay, so you're making $50,000 to $75,000 a year for 8 years, and it's just all going up your nose.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money, dude. Oh my god!
A lot of times when I would work, I'd already spent it because I had to give the cash to the guy at the end of the night that it gave me. We would have
never been friends back then. First of all, I was too young. And second of all, I was not nearly cool enough to hang out with people like that.
That was not cool
at all. Oh, are you kidding me? Back then it was.
Well, yeah, it was a whole different lifestyle, but it's like if I thought about it, like I could have done, like I have friends that also, like I have a friend, Luis Martinez, and you ever heard of the band Expose?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. He wrote all those songs and he produced all those songs.
Okay.
He was my backup DJ at Big Daddy's in Hialeah. You know what he didn't do?
Save
drugs and alcohol.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
What's his celebrity net worth now?
I don't know. Look him up. Louis Martini.
Louis Martini, huh? All right.
That was his Martinee. That was his stage name.
Inee.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not
Oh,
like
here
Martin.
he is. He's got a Wikipedia page. I don't see any net worth for him, though. Oh, this can't be right. Oh, that's Martin Lewis. It's like $123 million.
Oh, wow. Good for him.
That's not him. It's Martin Lewis, whoever that is.
I could ask him. We're still friends, but I don't know if that's a proper conversation.
He is a multi-platinum selling songwriter and producer who's won many awards, it says here. And he's pretty famous. He's got a Instagram.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook. He still DJs down in. He puts these shows on like for people that want to flash back to the 80s and 70s.
Yeah,
and they still write music. Actually, they call it new disco now.
He has worked with many artists of note, producing, writing, and or remixing tracks for artists like Ricky Martin, Dead or Alive, Enrique Iglesias, Celine Dion, Company B, Jermaine Jackson, the Covergirls, Debbie Gibson, Vanessa Williams, Pet Shop Boys, among others.
Yeah,
pretty good resume right there.
Yeah, and here's a guy that he was, liked his music and he kept himself clean and sober. And that's and I know a lot of friends.
Holy shit, dude! You guys were living the less than zero life. This guy is like Andrew McCarthy, who was the clean and sober guy who was still pretty successful, but still hanging around his druggy friends because that's who we came up with. That's still my friend.
This is so wild.
Dude, you got to go watch that movie. I'm telling you right now. You'll love it. All right, we're going to go. You're going to go watch Less Than Zero right now. Yeah, everything's fine here.
Yeah, you got to go because you got to get to a movie.
Yeah, Deadpool is out. And I need to go before the internet ruins it.
And I got to pack because I'm going to the mountains.
I'm going to Deadpool. You're going to the mountains.
Yep.
Fair trade. I think I'm getting no, you're still getting a better deal.
No, because last time you went to the mountains and I just went to church.
Yeah. And I spent 2 weeks in the glorious mountains and now I'm packing up my entire place because I have to move in a couple of days. So I might need next weekend off because moving day is Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. So if maybe you want to do the show Wednesday, we can do that.
I can just do it with Cove.
You're too cheap to pay the $20 a month for Cove.
I know.
My job is safe.
Scared.
Yeah. All right. Well, me and Cove.
You can always use that against me now. I can replace you for $20.
Me and Cove, I'm about to hang up with you, and I'm going to have some lunch, and me and Cove are going to plot against you.
Love you, friend.
I will not let you know how it goes.
I'm so glad you're my friend.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.